Cool. So there are some people, and this is gonna be real because I gotta say something about the about what is selling and what is beautiful about the selling stuff. There are a bunch of things. There are a lot of dudes that are going to tell you this way. There's going to be another way to do it. Is crazy. Now, I'm not going to keep saying there's a certain way to do it because it's not. I believe that because it happened to me. Um, this is the reason I'm telling. Because one time I used to sell cookware, right? I used to knock on doors, asking people, "Hey, would you like to," all that bullshit. And I used to had a coach that used to train me a lot. I mean, and I used to sell stuff before that too, but it was not that big. And the crazy thing is that I was following a training, and I had a bunch of um, guys working with me too. And I remember I was selling some pots, and I don't remember and whatever, but I remember this. Well, my coach gave me her number, and he said, "Hey, I want you to visit this lady because she seems cool. All the all the um backgrounds as we do as a seller, right? Before we go and knock on doors, because she was already um called by him, and he said, "Hey, can you make sure this lady gets her demonstration?" I was about to demonstrate some juice extractors and whatever. Now I pull up out and I knock on the door. She opened the door, and the first thing she said, and it's crazy. Now I'm gonna explain this to you guys because it might work for you, probably not, but I want you to hear the story that happened to me, and you can try it also. This is for knocking on doors, and before you're gonna do it, you gotta be no. But she said, "Hi, how are you? My name is blah blah blah. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for coming, but I'm gonna let you know that I'm not willing to buy nothing from you right now. Now, if you're a beginner and you're knocking on the door and someone just comes up and says, I'm not gonna buy, and you as a seller, maybe you can get a little bit stressed about the situation. But there are a lot of books that um I will show you next to you guys. What are the books that help me to pass all those situations, especially the no's, right? So she says, okay, let's do the demonstration, but I'm not willing to buy nothing from you, right? And that's the thing you don't want as a seller because you need the money, you want the dough, boy. And I said, cool. I'm not gonna buy you nothing. I'm not gonna sell you nothing. Sorry. And come in, cool. We started talking, and the first thing you want to do in that situation, and what I thought was, I need to become her friend, and I only had like an hour, right? Then we started talking. Hey, beautiful house. When did you buy it? What do you do for a living? What you want is that person talk to you. I'm not gonna say it's gonna work 100%, but it's gonna be better than the first answer she gave it to me, right? I mean, I'm gonna try to be her friend, but I'm not gonna rush it. So we started talking and talking and talking. She was from Dominican Republic. Now, she was talking about how to cook these type of meals, and it was all tasty. She was actually cooking something at the moment, and I asked, and it was we started talking because I didn't want to take out my all my selling stuff. I didn't want to. She already told me, right? I was just working on being her friend. Now, like 25 minutes later, someone knocks at the door, and is a dude, right? 40 some years old. I was sit down on the table. She opens the door and is her ex-husband. And I'm like, oh shit. That was not a good situation for you being a seller. You want the best relaxing, but you want the best environment to get yourself. You don't want no ex-husbands around bothering her, right? So I was like, I was, you know, I had the negativity a little bit up, which is not good. You don't have to be like that. And I was like, you know what? I already fucked this up. This dude is here. Ex guy, I don't know what's gonna happen. So I was like, cool. Now I need to know who's got the money. So I won't be spending my time to someone who doesn't have the money, right? Now the first thing one of the first things you gotta know is, if you're gonna visit and knock on the door, obviously you're gonna know how to do the questions. Because if you find the wife and there's the husband, you gotta ask who's working, who puts the money on the table before you start talking your bullshit, right? Can you imagine spending like an hour throwing flowers on this woman, and then you realize she doesn't make the money? No disrespect, but you need to find the money. Now, I knew that guy was not gonna bother me because of the money, because I already knew she was caring about her house by herself. Now, what I was worried about was about the situation. I was thinking about they're gonna start arguing over some shit like that, and I'm like, damn, yeah. I'm selling cookware. She cooks a lot. It's gonna be a perfect fit. But this dude is gonna bother me a lot. Now I was trying to think, hey, I started talking with the dude, and he was cool, by the way, but they had like they still had some fire on, and I'm like, yeah, this they had a little bit of fire. They were like throwing words between them, and I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be my moment. But I was still not pushing. So that lady, we had some. She bought some things before from that company, so she asked me how to fix it, because it was already like past due, and I was just, yeah, let me check it. By the way, I had a replacement with me. Thank God I had it, and it was like $90 the piece. So I said, you know what? Just leave it like that. I'm just going to change it, because that was my last one. And I still was not expecting her to buy me nothing. So we kept talking, and long story short, 2 hours passed. It was time to go for me. Now I said, hey, it was nice to meet you. Um, she was offering me some food. We were starting by the way, she gave me some desserts that she was making, and I did the juice demonstration. It was all perfect. I just wanted to be her friend, right? In my mind, I was not trying to sell her nothing. I was focusing on being her friend, but really, really trying to be her friend. Now, I was packing my stuff, and they're both sit down in front of me, right? Dude was quiet as fuck, so it was nothing to worry about. Now, this is the crazy part. I was about to finish my pack, put my backpack on. She said, Anderson, you're a cool guy, but you know what? Let me see what you got there, because I already told you I didn't want to buy it, right? And I said, yeah, but what? But I was still not like in like excited. You don't have to be excited like that. You still gotta be showing up You gotta show up like you don't want nothing for her. You just want to help that person. That's that's the huge difference to you as a seller, right? Keep that in mind. I was just talking to her about what she wanted. She also did, that she gave me the dessert. Now she said, "Hey Anderson, can you show me something small at least so I can buy it? So you don't go out with no money?" And I was like, this all happened in seconds on my head. It was this. God damn. Now this is real because some of you dudes are wasting time in reading bullshit around how to sell stuff. And at the end of the day, it's just 90% relationships, bro. The money is already here. Just give it to me. But the toughest part is just to become a friend of that person. Now, that's what I was not expecting that. So she says, let me buy you a small thing. But I was already prepared for that probably situation that I was not expecting, but I knew it could happen, right? So I was like, at the same time, I was excited and I was scared as fuck at the moment because I was like, it's the time to do it. So she said, "Let me try to see if I can buy a small thing." She thought I was showing her a little knife or piece of fork, spoon. Now I asked her, "Now why do you want to buy it right now? Because you told me you don't want to buy nothing." I asked her this. I still didn't want to buy her. I wouldn't be like, "Oh yeah, let's go. Let me show you what do I got." No, I'm not that type of person. I just asked her, "Why do you want to buy it now? What makes you change your mind?" Right? She didn't say nothing, but the thing she said was, "You care about my thing," and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is it, man." And I didn't pull out no damn forks, spoons, because I asked her, "Now, why do you want to buy now?" I think I'm gonna buy. I think I'm gonna start a restaurant, and it's weird because she didn't mention it before. And the cool part is that now she's telling me because we're now friends, right? And it's a cool part. It's just friendship, man. If you couldn't make the friendship, it's okay, but you still did the process. Don't go for the money. You don't have to show on your eyes the dollar sign. It's gonna fucked up everything for real. Now, the moment she said, "I'm gonna start a restaurant and I'm gonna need this and this and this," I still want. I was talking with the dude next to him, and I'm like, this is the time he's gonna do something. I mean, it was perfect because she said, "Let me try to buy a small thing." She didn't want to buy no small thing, right? She didn't want to buy no small thing. She wanted to buy everything because we're now friends. I was not pulling out no damn spoon. I took out a 4,000, I mean, it was $4,800 uh cookware set of, I don't remember what she needed because I explained it to her. She paid it off that that moment. And it was crazy. I went out to the office. I explained to all my buddies because it was like a group, right? And you still gotta show up, uh, tell your stories about. And yeah, that's one of the things that I suggest you to do if you're selling cars, whatever. Don't be waiting for money. Everybody has the damn money. That's the reason they're now there, right? And she bought a $4,800 cookware, and I was not expecting it. And yeah, it's crazy. That's why you gotta read some certain books that I might. I'm gonna talk one of the books that I already talked about it, that I call it the Bible, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Damn, I'll probably talk about that book 100 times, but it's beautiful. That helped me close the selling from nowhere, dude. And if you want to do it, of course, this is a whole thing, no shy thing. If you're shy, no, it's a no. If you're shy, you need to start trying some shit, because knocking on doors for you, people gonna eat you alive, man. It's crazy. You gotta be showing up a different mindset before you're doing this kind of stuff. I made a good money. I'm not doing that at the moment because it was all about. I took that as a learning center for me. And everyone out there, if you want to try something, I highly recommend you to start doing selling, whatever path you're going through, cars, food, whatever. You need to develop. You might not understand it while I'm telling you, but it's great. I have some dudes that are doing the gym. They're ripped, and they say, "Dude, there's a buddy. I got my buddy Steve. He's always saying train, train, and he's just changed my mind now these days because he was explaining me why you should train, and I'm not that ripped guy, right? And he was explaining me why you should train, why men should train. Long story short, but at the end of the day, he was explaining me, and I took that as the selling stuff. Focus on the relationship, right? The same as him. You need to train because you need to show up some different things. You are going to experience crazy reactions from people. And even though you don't know because you're not witnessing and experiencing those situations because you're not ripped, I do, and I felt them. It's going to happen. But it's the same as someone who's not trying it. So you gotta just do it and try to train it. And yeah, that's the book that I suggest everybody to read. If you have a different experience about selling, what was the best experience of you selling here, just tell us in the comments. We're gonna talk about it. We might pick a comment and see what was the reaction of someone of the crazy selling, and yeah, just relationships. First, smile. One of the dudes that I follow, matter of fact, Grant Cardone, he told me something. Well, he didn't tell me something. I just heard it from Instagram. It was crazy. He was one of the dudes that he said he didn't want to smile, right? And first time he said, "You need to smile. You gotta show up. You gotta, even though it's hard, you have to smile." And it's crazy, man. This whole thing about relationships, personal development, I love it, man. And yeah, just write down whatever you want. Free speech, as we always want to do, and entrepreneurship, selling, relationships. It's a whole bunch of things crazy out there. There's a lot of folks on Instagram that I encourage you to follow. Only if you have goals. Goals, right? Big goals. And yeah, that was it for today. I hope you like this. I have a bunch of you know what? No, I don't have a bunch, but I might talk about my experiences of doing the selling stuff because I had a lot of rejections too, and it's crazy. It's just what makes you continue on doing that. because nobody likes receiving no's, and that's going to give you the different and the next generational whatever you want. So yeah, we'll see you guys next time, and it's great, man. You just relax, uh, improve yourself, stand up on a mirror. It might sound weird, I know, but it is what it is. People are doing it. You're not. You gotta try it. And it happened to me. You can do it. I mean, some tomorrow you might wake up. You're on the selling car, selling stuff. You don't even know what your next sale will change your life. Improve your relationships, work out, improvement.